Hello, everybody out there in YouTube land, and welcome to DC Fans United. So today I am finally getting around to doing a review of Doomsday Clock number 5. Now I know issue number 6 has just come out, so that's actually what encouraged me to do a review of number 5. Now, if you haven't seen them already, I've done reviews of all of the other issues, so issues 1, 2, 3, and 4. So be sure and check those out if you haven't already. And yeah, so I was really actually pretty happy with issue number 5. And the main reason for that is it finally is starting to deal with some of the things that were set up in these first 2 issues. So the first 2 issues and then issue 3 and 4 are almost like focusing on totally different things for the most part. So issue number 5 introduced a lot of new things and also started to address some things from the first 2 issues. So because of that, this is probably actually my favorite issue so far. I was really surprised because after reading 3 and 4, I was kind of not done with Doomsday Clock, but my enthusiasm had really waned, which was why it took me so long to do a review of this. After reading issue 5, I'm definitely looking forward to reading issue 6. So, you can see I went with the variant cover. For the most part on this series, I've been getting the variants. I think they look really good. The only one I didn't get the variant on was number 4, which has a really boring cover, but the variants were sold out. So I've noticed with this series, the variant covers tend to be a lot more interesting. And they're all, of course, by Gary Frank. So you see the Joker on the cover looking crazy, and he's got the compact that Marionette has. So that's a nice little twist. I thought, what a twist. So this is actually what the main cover looks like for this issue. It's just an X-ray of, Vedit Ozymandias. It's just an X-ray of his head. So I didn't think that was nearly as interesting as this cover. But anyways, back in issue 2, so you have to go back and read these since they are bi-monthly. But anyway, in issue 2, Ozymandias here and the comedian and Lex Luthor had a bit of a confrontation, and he was just talking to Lex Luthor, but they don't know about the comedian, so they are blaming Lex Luthor being shot on Ozymandias. So, he's in the hospital, and he recovers really quickly, and he's really strong and skilled, and he just straight up escapes. He was talking about how Hawk and Dove get arrested in Russia because of some stuff going on over there. So there's this whole other storyline going on about the whole world suddenly having metahumans, and how it is called the Superman effect, I think. So then we're finally catching up too with Lois Lane and Clark Kent and everybody. So we hadn't seen them since issue 2 as well. So I was talking to one of my friends earlier, and it was kind of like, this should be issue 3. Everything that's set up in the first 2 issues. Like, you see Superman in issue 1, and you don't see him again until issue 5. So anyways, they introduce that the Soviets have metahumans, and they have a guy like Firestorm, and they are pissed, and they're closing down their borders. And there's this other cool bit, how Saturn Girl, so they're introducing the Legion of Superheroes characters finally, working together with Rorschach, and then these are the Soviet metahumans. So we're just a little ways into this, and it's really introduced a lot of stuff. So I really do like the art, of course. Gary Frank's really good artist. There's a reason it takes him a while to draw this stuff. So all that's introduced, and then there's another story that's going on about this old dude who just escaped from the old folks' home. He was watching a movie on TV. This is all, good information, but we don't need to get into it right now. So this old guy's really cool, though. He's really old. He's like 102 or something. And he is really surprised by how much things cost and all that. And he's just having a hard time. He's like a sad old man, but you really identify with him. So Ozymandias gets back to the owl ship, and inside is Batman. Batman's waiting for him. So he hadn't seen Batman in a while, and man, this comic jumps around all over. I kind of think it'll fit better on a trade. I keep having to go back to the older issues. I think reading them all at once would be ideal. But anyways, the comedian is now investigating where Marionette and Mime were, and that's one of the guys they killed. And this part was really cool. I like this a lot. The comedian is such a badass. He just basically faces down these cops. He says, "I didn't kill these poor bastards, but I'm looking for the nut jobs that did. So one of two things are going to happen now. One, you're going to try and arrest me or shoot me or some shit, and I'm going to slit your throats. Or two, you don't see me." He just walks right past. So I was like, yeah, comedian. So, man, they're just dumping in all the DC characters, too. We'll see more here in a bit. But anyways, yeah, the Mime, Marionette, have a vendetta against the Joker, essentially. They want the Joker. They're following on all his minions, chopping them up and stuff. They're pissed because they went into one of his clubs wearing makeup, and apparently no one's allowed to wear makeup but the Joker, and they're like, nah, we wear makeup. So anyways, the Joker had this really smart plan, which I don't know if it's been done in a comic before, but I'm like, how has no one ever thought of this? The Joker's just going to go to the bat signal, so when they put up the bat signal, the Joker's just going to go there and beat up Jim Gordon, and then when Batman shows up, beat up Batman. Why has no one thought of that before? So the owl ship's on the run, and this issue, they finally remembered that people were protesting against Batman, which we hadn't seen in a couple of issues either. I think that might have been in issue 3 when we saw that last. But, yeah, so Batman and Ozzy are on the run from the police copters. I hope I'm not jumping around too much. You guys really got to read this comic yourself. Overall, it's a really good issue. I liked it a lot, but it's like an event book. A lot is going on at once, and each one of these individual storylines, it's like, well, that would make a good comic book by itself, Sometimes it's a bit of an overload. But anyways, they're introducing all kinds of characters, because now the cat's out of the bag that there's metahumans, so there's Firestorm, and there's Killer Frost, and this part was my absolute favorite part. This is what made me love this book even more. So, Black Adam is, he's a villain. Sometimes he's a hero. But right here, there's this terrorist, and he's got an American journalist hostage, and he's going to cut his head off, which, happens in real life. And all of a sudden, the terrorist gets flown, grabbed, and you see his body fly. That's his head right there. So it turns out that Black Adam rescued this journalist and killed the terrorist. So, and it actually explains it right here. So it says, they were talking about Black Adam. It's also in Black Adam's country where that happened. So the protesters are all marching and protesting Batman. Batman and Vita have been having a whole conversation throughout, too. General Lane announces that the U.S. is withdrawing all their forces from the Middle East. Lois Lane shows up and interviews Lex Luthor. Superman's listening in. Let's see, so the old guy, and I think he's named Johnny Thunder or something. He used to be a hero, I assume. Sad old man. He's searching for something. He's telling people he's looking for a magic lamp, and that it's a genie lamp. And then he gets to the place he's looking for. It's this old abandoned factory, but there's some, ruffians that are in there, and they start giving him a hard time, and they're going to rob him. He doesn't have any money, so they're going to chase him. And then, let's see. Oh, the police copters shoot down the owl ship, and it crashes. So they have to bail out. And at the same time, the Mime and the Marionette. So this is pretty hardcore. The Joker's plan was working. He showed up at the bat signal right there. And that's Jim Gordon. He's beat down Jim Gordon. I was like, why has no one thought of that before? That's really smart. I mean, it's a bad thing to do, obviously, but if you're the Joker, that's really smart. So the Mime and the Marionette show up, and they're just like, this is awesome. They're enjoying it. They love the chaos. There's more about Black Adam, who's one of my all-time favorite characters. They're talking about how he flew all the way to Syria and was taking out terrorists there. So I'm like, yeah, I like this. I like this. I don't know if he's going to be a hero for America, but he is not taking crap on his side of the world. So Batman actually is, because he had to bail out of the owl ship, all the protesters that are protesting him see him. And then there's this really cool part here where the old dude finally finds the magic lamp. Check it out, it's the Green Lantern. And look at that, Batman's trying to get away from the protesters. There's a lot going on, it's really intense. Look at that, he's so happy he got the lantern. I love it. He's like, I found it. Protesters grabbing the cape. Bad guys pushing the bat signal off. Yes, you can tell this is kind of a middle issue in a 12-issue series. There's all the heroes having a hard time. So you see here the bad guys catch up to him. They take the lantern from him. Look at that. That's freaking terrible. Shut up. See? That was bad. But then, boom, bad guy gets wrecked because Rorschach showed up. So this part's really brutal. Like, Saturn Girl's just like, don't worry, they were gonna die anyway. They were gonna overdose because like, I guess she can see the future. Well, she's from the future, but she's reassuring the old man because Rorschach just kills him. He has zero chill, as the kids say. And my favorite new characters from the series, Mime and Marionette, are just loving it. They love the chaos. She even says, how romantic. And then, bum, 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 just like on the cover, Femme Joker. No, I don't know. The way Gary Frank draws him is kind of effeminate, but I have no qualms with the way he's presented. He's really cool still. So he confronts them, and then Rorschach's got the Green Lantern, so I don't even know what's going to happen there. And they've got Batman, so the crowd probably beat him up, and that's how the issue ends. So, pretty epic. And then there's some bonus material at the end where it talks about the metahumans, because there's this whole dynamic going on between America having metahumans and the Russians having metahumans and other parts of the world having metahumans. So this is like some seriously good bonus material. I always like stuff like this where it shows all kinds of information. It's got graphs, it shows the people's heroes, so this is like Russia's metahumans. They're introducing and bringing back all kinds of characters. It's really cool. Europe's got a few, China. This guy, this is new Superman, so they're tying it into a lot of the other books, too. Very awesome. Even India's got one. That's cool. Oh, they've got a few, it looks like. So, very cool. DC International. So, and then there's more bonus material. Then there's a whole thing about Black Adam. So right now, people are trying to decide if he's a hero or a villain. And a little extra kind of a fake ad for Metropolis. Come see Metropolis. Very cool. Which actually ties in because all the other metahumans are crazy right now, or at least people don't know whether the metahumans are good or not. So that's what the world's safest city bit is about, because everyone at this point knows Superman and trusts him, but they're not so sure about the others. Wow, so 13 minutes to get through it, but this is a thick book. Extra thick. Alright, so that's all for now. Thanks for watching. If you made it to the end, you're my hero, and I hope to get a hold of issue number 6 at some point. And yeah, that's all for now. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Be sure to hit the bell for notifications. Be sure and subscribe if you aren't subscribed. And as always, thank you for watching and being a part of DC Fans United.